Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of News in Motion. If you are tuning in live with us at 7:25 a.m., we just want to say good morning to you. Thank you for tuning in, starting your day off with News in Motion. Or if you're catching the replay, whether it be in the afternoon, the evening, or near the nighttime, we just want to say thank you for tuning in, no matter what time of day it is, and supporting News in Motion. If this is your first time tuning in, News in Motion is a news media outlet with relevant commentary and call to action. We can be found on YouTube, LinkedIn, or any audio or podcast platforms. Today we have the segment that y'all know and love. We have Town Hall Thursday, and we have a guest with us. So be sure that you are asking those questions, because the moment y'all start asking questions, Town Hall Thursday is over. It is over. But of course, we also here on News in Motion, we also like to call Thursdays our Friday Eve. So we're going to give a little bit of headline news, but we're also going to tell a few jokes of the days to get your morning started. Good morning to you, Miss Shirley Nicholson, tuning in through YouTube. Good morning, Miss Marion Jackson. Good morning to my father, Mr. Fred Jones, who is also tuning in through YouTube as well. So if you're ready for Town Hall Thursday, grab your paper, grab your friend, grab a pen, and we'll be right back after this brief intro.
News in Motion.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to all of you. So good to see you. I see Deborah Johnson rolling in here this morning as well. And if I believe and remember correctly, I believe her husband Glenn is sitting next to her every morning. I see Adrian in here as well. I see Rodessa. Grand rising to you, sister. So glad to see you back. On the audio side, again, we have Elisa Milburn. Good morning to you on audio. Now, some of y'all who are tapping in here on the audio, I'm going to need you all to make sure you are keeping your eyes on the road. Or if you're at your office, please don't yell out and don't get in trouble over here with that. Also, I see a Calvin is tuning in. There are a lot of you rolling up in here on the audio side. So thank you for that. Thank you. All right, y'all. It is Town Hall Thursday. And as Isaiah shared with you, the moment you stop asking questions, the Town Hall segment is over. But before we get to that, and I have an amazing guest, you're going to be so excited. Before I get to that, let me just give you some quick news headlines. First off, it's going to be a precedent-setting Supreme Court case hearing today. Yes, y'all, the Supreme Court will begin hearing arguments on the presidential immunity. Today, the justices will take up former President Donald J. Trump's bid to avoid prosecution, over his efforts to overturn the 2020 elections. The case before the Supreme Court today marks the first time the justices are asked about immunity for alleged criminal acts for former presidents, not just him, any of them. The potential impact, I want to share this with you. The precedent-setting case, which means once this precedent is set, it's there. It's a law. It's in the books, and people can use it over and over and over again. I see you, Regina. So we're going to have to just sit tight to see what's happening there. Now, the former president argues that his lawyers say former presidents can't be prosecuted for actions they took while in office unless Congress first impeaches and convicts him or her. So we have that. I see y'all rolling up in here. Who's from within coaching? You got to tell me who you are so we can give you a personal shout out. Also, the prosecution says, why can't I get that word out this morning? Even if a former president has some immunity, trying to thwart the peaceful transfer of power is a perfect example of conduct that should be protected from prosecution. So we got a lot of that that's coming up. What's up, Megan? What's up? Good to see you. Now, what about his other trials, and will they play a part? The Supreme Court will not listen to any of that. It is unclear if the court will hand down its decision in late June, which would be a typical time frame. And they may try to get that in there before the election. Some say they may wait until after the election. And by the way, as I always say, the views that are expressed here are not necessarily the views of our guests and viewers. So I want to make sure I put that out there as well. Y'all, USA Today is reporting. Y'all, this was interesting. In Arizona, the 11 fake electors and seven former president's allies are charged. Y'all, grand jury has charged 11 Arizona Republicans and 7 former aides to former President Donald Trump in a scheme to keep Trump in the White House. Yeah, I'm going to put all that information in the Friday rundown so that you can see it for yourself. And we will also talk about that on Tuesday. And then y'all, I don't know about you, but I'm really excited about this. And if you are a traveler, you should be excited as well. Hello, y'all. Listen, airlines will now require to give cash refunds for canceled and delayed flights. Hello, somebody. That should make you excited. Y'all, AP News is reporting, as well as the news we received directly from the White House administration. Airlines will be required to provide automatic cash refunds within a few days of cancellations. And no, we do not have to call them and ask for it. It's automatic. Somebody need to say, whoop, whoop. All right, y'all, listen. Any type of significant delays, any type of baggage handling, any of those things, y'all, get ready. That tells me planes are going to be on time. Yeah, they're going to squeeze as many people on the flight as they possibly can because they don't want to give you no money back. Deborah Johnson said it is about time. So, y'all, all of that is unfolding, and it happens as soon as July. So, be excited about that. All right, y'all, so that is happening. So, baggage, luggage, cancellation, delays, automatic refund. That's what I'm talking about. Adrian said, thank you, Secretary of Transportation. Yes. All right, y'all, this is so important. Y'all know this is near and dear to my heart. And then we're headed into the town hall. Y'all, listen, Idaho, audio listeners, Idaho, your voter registration deadline is tomorrow. Okay. If you plan to vote in the November 5th election, if you live in the state of Idaho, your registration deadline is tomorrow. You can go to iwillvote.com, www.iwillvote.com, and you can register to vote. Y'all, it takes less than 3 minutes. If you don't like that tagline, you can go to us.gov. Is that right, Isaiah? Isaiah's going to pull them up and pop them up. USA.gov, I believe that's what it is. You can go there to register. If that's not a good one for you, you can go rockthevote.com. You can keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going until you find the right one to register. You can go to your Secretary of State's office to also register. You can go to your BMV to register. But the main one we use here is iwillvote.com. iwillvote.com. That's Idaho. All right. Not in Idaho? Well, you have until Monday. Nebraska and Texas. You have until Monday. Your voter registration deadline is on Monday, April the 29th. Again, that's Nebraska and Texas. All right. Let me make sure I make this very clear. Idaho. Marion, if you put this in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it. Idaho, you have until tomorrow. I believe it's right about 8 p.m., but check your local time for that. You have until 8 p.m., I believe, to register. Let's just be safe and say you do it by noon tomorrow, okay? Idaho, you have until noon. Let's just say you have until noon tomorrow. I'm making that up, okay? I think you have a little bit longer. I'm making that up. But Idaho, your registration deadline is tomorrow. Y'all can't say, oh, I forgot, and I want to vote in this election in November. It ain't going to happen. Your registration deadline is tomorrow, Idaho. Nebraska and Texas, your registration deadline is Monday, April the 29th. As we keep going into the days, we will be sharing that. All right, y'all, yesterday, I'm so excited. About my guest. Y'all just don't know. Yesterday, we learned that the Senate in the midnight hour passed the bill. The TikTok bill. And I need all of y'all on YouTube, y'all like, hit, share, get people to come on because everyone wants to hear from my guests. I promise you're going to want to hear from my guests. On audio, same thing. Tell people to join you because I want y'all to meet this amazing woman who I met, I think, about 5 years ago. But listen, y'all, I told y'all yesterday about TikTok. midnight hour, the Senate passed this bill. It's 184 pages. That will be in the Friday rundown. Y'all, that's the newsletter. If you have not subscribed to the free newsletter of the Friday rundown, make sure you go to my website today, and a pop-up box will pop up. Put your information in there so that you can get all this free content. And y'all be getting some serious stuff in here. So listen, so the 184 page document will be in there so that you can read it for yourself. Y'all know here on News in Motion, we believe that you should vet it and read it for yourself. All right, y'all. Officials from TikTok on yesterday, after the Senate passed it and it went to the president's desk to be signed, filed a legal challenge against a new law requiring this China-based parent company, ByteDance, to sell the platform or withdraw from the U.S. market within 270 days. That's 9 months. President Joe Biden signed the order as part of a broader $95 billion foreign aid package. The window for sale, which can be extended 90 days, will fall on January 19th, the day before the inauguration. I see you, Dr. Antoinette. Good morning, sister. One day before, one president terms in, the next president will begin. The platform, I want y'all to hear this number. This platform, we're talking 170 million, that's with an M, y'all, monthly active users in the U.S., but has been criticized over potential national security concerns. Now, India banned the app in 2020 after a military incident along its border in China. Now, they keep looking back at that, and they really don't see how anything had to do with the other, but India did ban it. All right, today I would like to focus on TikTok and the platform, the businesses, the alternative platforms, and how it affects them. Before I get to the thing, to our guest, she's going to knock y'all socks off, just to tell you. We have the statement from the White House, the package that was included, and we also have HR 7521, which will be in the Friday rundown, because we want you to read this for yourself so that you have a better understanding. All right, y'all, today, let's get ready. Get ready to get in the chat. Y'all tell everybody, come on over here, hang out with us. Y'all want to hear from her. Y'all, I have Crissy with us today. She is the visibility expert and social media strategist. Crissy is a business growth expert, social media strategist, author, speaker, and is also known as a visibility queen. She supports entrepreneurs, y'all, to be heard and to be seen online. Now, y'all, Crissy knows. Trust me, I know. She knows visibility. I mean, like the back of her hand. And her visibility accelerates impact, growth, sales, and opportunities, despite being an introvert, which every time she says that, I just think, girl, you crazy. She empowers you to increase your visibility, to create an iconic brand and attract your raving fans through content that converts. And I'm telling y'all, she's on point with this. Deborah, Adrian, all of you, Dr. Antoinette, Marion, all of you in here, Megan, y'all better pay attention to this. Her belief is that visibility creates more visibility and gives your messaging a platform to impact and form deeper relationships with your audience. With that, bring her on in here. Isaiah, bring her on in here. Good morning.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited. I was like, I know who I can get to come on this show. I'm so glad. Megan says, love Crissy. I love it. Listen, as you know, I'm guilty, and a lot of people, the viewers and the listeners know this about me. I'm guilty of have watched Risa Tisa like for several days. Okay. I was consumed with her story. And I think about, wow, banning TikTok. She's the first person that actually came to my mind. And I'm thinking she has a Netflix deal, a book deal, I believe a Lifetime television deal. She's been wanting this, through all of her segments, she talks about this navy blue BMW with cognac interior. Yes, that's how deep I watch this thing. And people are wanting her, all of her fans are wanting BMW to gift her this navy blue SUV with the cognac interior. She has been on the Today Show, Good Morning America, the Tamara Hall Show, and on and on and on. She's now making millions. And it all came from telling her story on TikTok. Girl, did you see that? Megan says, we are all guilty, Gail. Listen, I'm guilty. So what are your thoughts on that? And I want to just jump in because your business is on TikTok. What's going to happen?
Okay, well, talking about Risa Tisa, we've got to talk about Taylor Swift first. Taylor Swift is getting tons of praise right now for literally healing herself through the music she just wrote.
Yes.
Risa Tisa, minus all the money and all the things that she's getting and all the attention, she healed herself through those videos. She found a platform where she was able to feel comfortable to be seen and heard. And I think that's like the number one thing that hurts me about TikTok being banned is so many people felt like other platforms weren't right for them, or that they couldn't tell their story, or they were afraid that their friends and family would see it. And they felt like strangers on TikTok would support them more than Facebook or Instagram friends. And that's, I think, why this platform is blown up so much. It is healing people. It is healing people. It's giving them a voice.
And you and I in the green room, we're talking about 170 million people. Davia says guilty as charged. And Davia, you and Crissy need to connect. Oh my gosh. Davia has a podcast called Tales from the Shaker. Phenomenal. And then Dr. Antoinette says we all watched it and we're ready to find him. I mean, that's really what so a healing platform. So now I want to talk about you for a moment. How will TikTok ban affect your content creation and the engagement you have with your audience? Because your engagement is huge on Facebook, on TikTok. Oh, I think you're on Instagram as well. I see you more on Facebook. But every time I see your content, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try that, Crissy. All right, let me try that, Crissy. And you're never wrong. You're never wrong. And I also imagine, wow, what if I was one of your clients? I'd probably be booming like Risa Tisa. Like, seriously, how will this affect you and what you're doing? Because what you're doing is absolutely phenomenal.
So I'm going to have a little different take on this. I call myself the visibility queen. So I am not just on TikTok. And I do teach my clients, we got to diversify our platforms. We can't put all our eggs in one basket, just like you're not just on YouTube, right? You're streaming this in audio. And so I think it's important, if this teaches us nothing else, whether TikTok actually goes away or not, we should all be diversifying. 100%, it's going to safeguard your business, right? Because these platforms are an asset. They're a way for us to market ourselves and our businesses. And if we are putting all our eggs in one basket, then we're just hurting ourselves. So will it change my content? I love starting at TikTok because I feel like TikTok has so many trends and I feel like TikTok starts all of this. But I think the ones that are resistant, Gail, against going to another platform, that's what's going to hurt them. And I think from what I have seen, a lot of people, the first time they tried to do this, right? I don't know what year that was. They tried to ban TikTok before.
That was August 6, 2020.
Okay. So a lot of people, like, they started, okay, I need to diversify this, right? So I think a lot of people are prepared unless they came in after that. And in the back of our mind, it's never going to get banned, right? That's what we tell ourselves. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. But we don't know that after yesterday, we don't know that that's true. I think it'll be held up for a long time. And of course, they're going to sue the United States and, try to prevent it from happening. We may have plenty of time, but this is also plenty of time to diversify if you're not already.
And how would one go about diversifying? For example, I was on Facebook. News in Motion was on Facebook, but that's where we started. And then we branched off to YouTube and LinkedIn and then the audio through StreamYard. But what we found, Facebook was banning us. Like, they were what they call shadow ban. Yep. That was happening to where I believe it was February of this year. We moved it. We just came off of Facebook. We still have the page, but we do not stream there anymore because they were constantly shadow banning us. So how can one diversify, we're understanding the different platforms and what may or may not happen on those platforms? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And honestly, the reason I feel like so many people did go to TikTok was because of the bans. You've got to think about boudoir, or if you have any political conversations, like you feel like you are shadow banned on Facebook, right? And so I think it's finding platforms like YouTube where you feel like you have more freedom, right? Finding the platforms you have more freedom. But now I'm even seeing people go to platforms like Telegram and doing like audio broadcasts and things like that, because they're tired of, okay, my people want to listen to me. Like, I don't want them to have to purposely go find my platform to show up in the algorithm when it comes to Facebook or something like that. But I do believe that when we are on a platform, let's say TikTok is our number one, right? We love TikTok. And the reason people do so well on TikTok is because they love it. They love it and they feel at home there. So it's like, how can I find a home somewhere else? And how can I, what we call cross-pollinate, right? Push people to YouTube, push people to YouTube Shorts, push people to Instagram. And what I've seen most people have the most success with is pushing themselves to Instagram and TikTok and having that meta and the other opportunity. And then YouTube is always a great option too.
Okay. I want to pause it just for a moment. Don't forget, and I see the comments coming in. Check out Crissy at, and the website is up there, but the audio listeners, thevisibilityqueen.com. Again, thevisibilityqueen.com. We'll also get that in the chat too, so you can grab it. I see you, Mike Nicholson. Good morning to you. Lori says, absolutely. You must diversify, different audience, different formats. So is there a way that we can identify? For example, I recently from my daughter got back connected to Pinterest, which I thought it was like just dead and boring and everything else. No. She says, Mom, your content from your article platform, which is Medium, she goes, that's what you should send to Pinterest. I had no idea the views that I would get from articles from Medium to Pinterest. But she told me, she goes, now, Mom, you can't post them on Threads and you can't post it on Instagram and you cannot post it on Facebook. Find one platform to send to Pinterest. Is that like that with all the different platforms, or do you have to find your own groove with each platform?
So what do you mean? She said you couldn't post it to Facebook.
Well, she's saying I could, but she was saying to identify one to send it to.
Got it. So this is what I would typically say to people is be consistent one place. And I don't know if that's where you're going with this. Be consistent one place and build, because a lot of times Pinterest, not necessarily so much, but a lot of times we post and ghost and we forget that social media is a social platform, right? And so I believe in really being very consistent and engaging on one platform before we move to another. So, and you know, growing that and immersed in that versus, again, the post and ghost kind of mentality. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Start with one and build on that and then add another. And Pinterest is a great searchable platform too. We call Pinterest a long-term marketing strategy because your content gets better, especially with the searchability avenue, just like YouTube is. Okay, cool. Deborah Johnson says, do we need to be active every day for it to attract a consistent audience? So, as he pauses. Okay, so am I active every day? Yes, I am. Do I believe you can't take a day off? Absolutely not. You have freedom in your business. Can you schedule things? Absolutely. But I would say minimum of 5 days a week for most business owners. Should be consistent depending on the platform. YouTube, right? You could post a YouTube video once a week, but TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, I'm a daily girl personally. But you'll also typically see weekends are typically slower too. So. And that's what I actually do with my reels. I do my reels the same day I have News in Motion. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then there's no reels the rest of the week, but I still have content that I'm posting. And I try to use the weekend to give people a peek behind the curtain as to the real life of Gail Dudley. I mean, News in Motion is the real life, but I go even further with that. Let me ask you, what are your thoughts?
and not necessarily the bill. And y'all, I sent her everything. Y'all know I did. What are your thoughts on the reasons behind a ban, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Snapchat, wherever? What could be possible reason? Is it do you think they understand, Congress understands that people who are paying taxes are on these platforms and that's actually their business? Or do you think people remove business from social? I hope this makes sense.
Yeah,
Because go ahead.
I'm
No,
not trying to get political on any platform, but I am going to say
you're not.
I am going to say this. It is about control.
Okay.
I mean, it's about control. I truly believe it's about control. That's why Facebook hurts reach and shadow bans. It's about control, right? And then the same thing with this. I feel like they can't control the narrative on TikTok, so let's do it this way. Yes, is there the fear of China and all of that? Yes. Again, I haven't done all my research, but that's not my job. But I will say I feel like it's all control.
So can I ask you the number, not necessarily the followers, because I know you don't even really get into the numbers at all, which I love that about you. Would your people from TikTok, would they search for us or follow us to another platform, especially if they're not on those platforms? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if I can tell you if they're not on those platforms because I feel like some people have a presence, but I can give you an example. Someone found me on TikTok in 2021. And I talked to her, so I know this. So she went to Instagram, binged all of my content and joined my mastermind. So I can see things like that happening because I have proof of that. But also, when you're on TikTok, you also you typically have a website, right? You have a link, you have other places that they can go to find you. And then also we can't forget that an email is a huge asset, right? Any platform can go down. Any platform can get taken from us. We can go to jail and get banned from any platform as an individual, right? For wrong reasons a lot of times. So when we have an asset like email or an SMS or even maybe a Telegram thread, right? Like this is another way that we can get our voice to be heard and still pour into our audiences.
I love that. And you're so right about email. People think that email is dead. Even when we're pushing like the Friday rundown, people are like, why are you still doing that? There's a lot of people that read the Friday rundown. It's not dead. And we still have those emails to keep in contact with individual people. But let me ask you this, and you and I've had this conversation before, but I want you to share with the audience. How do you handle when people unsubscribe?
Some people like inbox zero. I'm not one of those people. I don't even know what that's like, meaning they don't want any emails coming through. So everybody goes through this cleaning, right? But it doesn't mean they're still not following me on social media. I don't take unsubscribes personally. And I also don't look at them anymore, but I just don't take them personally. I think that's just people always have an opinion and maybe they don't like you, or maybe I make that story up in my head. But at the end of the day, people don't want so many emails sometimes. And maybe I'm one that gets cut. That's okay.
Okay, because sometimes I look at them like, why? Why did you unsubscribe? But then it's like, I know when I get my inbox and I'm going through and I'm thinking, well, I don't even open this. So it's better for me just to unsubscribe. But it's hard sometimes because I know because of who I am, I don't want to mess up their algorithm or their count. So I just hit delete. Like, I'm going to just hit delete every time it comes through. Before we get out of here, and y'all, if y'all have any more questions, come in here. You got like 3 minutes to do so. Before we get out of here, what would be 3 things that you would encourage the listeners and the viewers when it comes to their social media, especially if they're doing reels on a regular basis, to encourage them to keep going, even with this ban that may be coming in 9 months? What would you say?
The first thing I would say, because I feel like this is everybody's goal, is stop trying to go viral. Stop trying to go viral. If you go viral, that's amazing, but really focus on knowing who your person is and pouring into them and giving massive value. And with that, don't worry about the numbers. Like, yes, numbers are important. Like, okay, can I separate this from myself and be like, okay, I can improve here versus, everybody hates me. Nobody wants what I have to offer because my numbers are low all the time and I still make sales, right? So we get to look at it that way. The second thing is like, show up for your people. And again, giving them value, but giving them your value in your experience. Meaning, don't give them what they can go Google. Give it from your heart, from your experience and your conviction, because people can see that through video, whether your face is on there or it's just your voice. It doesn't matter. Like, they can feel that conviction that you have. And then the third thing I would say is, this is something that I think, especially even as women, because I work with so many women, we're afraid to do, is quit being afraid to sell. You are a business. You're a business. Offer what you have. Your offer is value to facilitate change in somebody's life. I don't care what you sell. Come at me later on. Come find me and tell me what you sell, and I will tell you how it can facilitate change. I don't care if it's a product, a service, or whatever. It can facilitate change in someone's life. And we forget that when we're putting our offers out there. We're afraid, but your offers get to be just as visible as you are. And we forget that sometimes.
Wow. So you're leading me to be very vulnerable on this morning, where I know we'll have a lot of replays, a lot of views on the video, and the audio is now up to 103 people. So I'm sorry, 1,003 people. I forgot a zero, 1,003 people. So I'm going to be very vulnerable. So there are times, as you know, News in Motion is going into 4 years in June. And it has touched a lot of lives. We hear about it. And I keep sharing with the audience, I'm getting us through the election in November. And then during that week, I'll make the decision of what's next. And a part of that is that I'm consuming so much news that it can at times burn me out, that I can find myself depressed or angry or frustrated or trying to figure out what's happening with this system in America. It's so many emotions. Okay. One day we have the airlines. I'm excited because of the fees. Earlier this week, they want to take away Clear, TSA. Don't do that. They want to take those things away, to a woman having a dead man in a wheelchair trying to sign some papers at a bank. That really happened. The deaths, the murders, the man setting himself on fire, the shooting in schools, so much that I'm consuming that it's sometimes hard to navigate. But then when people want me to come and they want me to speak or to share or be on a panel, it's like, we can't afford you. We don't have money for that, but we just want you to come. There are times I'm just wondering, is this over? You know what I'm saying? It's like, how much more? Yes, I give back and I do. But when you're talking about what you just shared, okay, I'm selling pretty much every day, but people are just like, she's so kind-hearted. How do you separate being this kind-hearted, encouraging person from, at some point, you got to pay me? Does that make sense? How do you balance that? Because so many people are dealing with that from different directions.
So the first thing I'm going to say is, like, you obviously deserve to be paid. We will actually never get paid what we're worth. Can we just be honest about that? Like, none of us, like, we're priceless. Every single one of you listening, we're all priceless. So the thing that I have to say is, first, deep down in your soul, Gail, you get to believe that you're worthy of that. You're worthy of that amount, right? That is an amount and be confident in that number, and don't balk at that number. Like, that is my number. There's no negotiating. This is who I am. This is the value I bring. Right. And owning that. And I feel like the more confident you are in your pricing, and the more confident you are in your offer, and you believe truly deep down in your soul, which I know you do, that you can facilitate change, that you can help someone shift a perspective, you can help someone shift a change in their life. Like, that, to me, when you have that conviction, like, the right people are going to pay you. Always. The people who are going to, like, bring the most to your life are going to pay you. I do believe that.
Wow, thank you for that. Davia says, dang, she says, dang, I hear you. I've got to share more of myself and what I have to offer. I know that, but I come from a generation that didn't promote yourself lest you appear conceited. It's a hurdle for me. Yes, bingo, that's it. So, Crissy, I think you're speaking to the same thing. We have to just come out of that shell.
Yeah.
It's like we have to get the layer off of our upbringing and all that comes with that. Megan says, so many women feel this way. You deserve to be paid. Thank you, Megan. And then the next one says, don't give up. Thank you, Megan. And then the next one says, or don't stop. Crissy, this has been amazing. I want you to take the few moments that we have left to share with people how they can contact you. First off, everyone, she is worthy of hire. Okay, seriously. I've been to her conferences. I've been on as like a fly on the wall, listening to her. I've seen her amazing work. I've heard from people who've been a part of her programs, Stacy, who absolutely just love you. Their lives have changed because of you. And y'all, I'm not just saying that because she's on here. I've told people this from behind the scenes. Gina Winks is another one. She's our audio engineer. They just love you. So let people know, because I don't think people realize that's a line item they need in their budget. If they got to pay somebody, pay you. So please share with the audience.
So how you can connect with me is thevisibilityqueen.com. And I'm pretty much Crissy Connor, or it's Crissy Connor on every platform, including TikTok, if you're there. And what I truly love to do is I have offers that we can work together one-on-one, and I can really help you. I also am a certified coach because so many people struggle getting visible because of blocks. And so I can work through your subconscious and we can get rid of those blocks so you can show up online. But my personal goal is to help you be seen and heard, not just you as your face, but your messaging, your heart, your conviction, your offers. You deserve to get paid. You deserve to talk about your offers every single day, and not feel salesy while you're doing it. Mm-hmm. And so that's one of the biggest things that I hear. And so I offer programming that you can do on your own time. We do live programming every single month. Right now, we're doing a launch program, and I also have a podcast called The Visibility Impact Show, because as when you get visible, you make an impact, just like Gail has been making for 4 years. She's gotten visible. She's put herself out there. She's gotten all this knowledge. And so the more impact that we can make, like, just think about how many more people we can serve and support in this world.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for hanging out. We may have you back. We got so much more to unpack. And because here we've been looking at how we can bring people together, even on a webinar, to go deeper, where they can pay you to come on to do that webinar and then hopefully book with you as well afterwards. Deborah says this show was phenomenal. So again, y'all can go to the Visibility Queen, thevisibilityqueen.com. Make sure you're following her on all the social media platforms. Give us your handle again for social media.
Either it's Crissy Connor or just Crissy Connor, Conner.
Conner. Thank you, y'all. I don't think TikTok is going anywhere. Do you, Crissy? I don't think it's going anywhere.
It ain't going anywhere.
I think they're just trying to punk us. But anyway, I know you have to run. What'd you say?
We'll be okay even if it does.
We'll be okay. Well, I know you have to run. Thank you. I love doing this with you. This was amazing. And people are saying thank you. Laura just said thank you. Great information. So thank you. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend. All right, everyone. That was our town hall for today. Hopefully you grabbed something out of it. With that, I want to go to the inspirational message real quick before we get out of here. And that inspirational message is going to back up what Crissy has shared. Y'all, stop hiding. Come out of hiding. Thank you, Megan. Y'all, come out of hiding. Stop being intimidated by other people. Stop allowing what other people are doing and you're comparing yourself to them. Y'all, come out of hiding. Stop minimizing. Going back to what Davia said, Deborah backed it up as well. And Marion is saying, thank you, Crissy. Y'all, we have to come out of hiding. We have so much baggage. And each day we got to remove that baggage, remove it, come out more. Stop debating. Should I go live? Or stop debating. Should I post this? Or stop asking yourself, what are people going to think or say? Get over it. I'm guilty as well. We have to get over it, and we have to come out of hiding. So many of you have some phenomenal gifts that people need to know about it. And not only do they need to know about it, they need to pay, because you are worthy of higher. Now, that's biblical. You are worthy of higher. And I'm going to just pray. Y'all know who I am. I know there's people that come from different religious backgrounds on here, or no religion at all. I understand that. And many of you say you still hang on because you get something out of this message. So as we depart today, and we'll return on Tuesday. Don't forget, Idaho, your last day to register to vote is tomorrow. And Nebraska, and I forgot the other one. I'll tell you real quick. Nebraska and Texas, your last day to register to vote. It would be Monday the 29th. Yeah, that's for the general election. But I want to say this to you before we sign off. I want God to bless the work of all of our hands. So that means we got to come out of hiding, because once he blessed the work of our hands, we have to come out of hiding and live. We have to come out of hiding and live. With that, y'all, I am Gail Dudley. This has been News in Motion. Y'all know what I say. Stay well. And remember, everyone, make some bold moves. We're out.
NewsInMotion.